Playing as the Tomb Kings, and we got Grindhouse playing as the Wood Elves. And definitely the Wood Elves is going to be a huge counter to the Tomb Kings. We can expect quite a bit of skirmisher infantry with some pretty good bow and arrow ranges and some good damage to those skull units. What do you think the Tomb Kings have got up their sleeve there, David? Well, I guess he's not here at the moment. It's just fine. Oh, are you
Oh,
back?
how's that?
Yeah, there we go.
Yep. All right. I would say that this should definitely be a good match. First pick Tomb Kings, counter pick Wood Elves, and it is, as you mentioned, quite the counter pick. But I think that the Tomb Kings, if they know their business, have a few counters up their sleeves. I would say Screaming Skull catapults are actually pretty valuable in this matchup. But overall, yes, I do think that it is Wood Elf favored. Definitely, they have the mobility and the ability to tie down valuable targets and
Now this
annihilate them.
map is called the Wasteland, and it has a bunch of hills and a bunch of good height advantage for these catapults. For the Tomb Kings, he could definitely use the map advantage for those catapults. It's going to be interesting to see how he uses these chariots, though, because the hills could give him some pretty good protection against these chariots from the Wood Elves. So we do got a Glade Lord on a dragon also, which is also ranged. For the Wood Elf army, we also have some Way Watchers and some Eternal Guards, and some Wild Riders. Can these Wild Riders manage to chase these chariots, though? That's going to be the main concern for the Wood Elf army. Do you think these Wild Riders can chase
Def-
those chariots effectively?
they can definitely chase them, but as far as catching them goes, they do have a higher speed. So if they get close enough, I would think that getting them into combat would be basically a death sentence for these chariots. But with as well Cetra the Imperishable on the Chariot of the Gods, no less, out there. I think that he can definitely support his chariots and they can
Here he
kite
is.
effectively. You also have supporting fire coming in from Ushabti Greatbow. I don't think that the Wild Riders necessarily will
Okay,
have
and the
easy
battle
pickings.
has begun. A quick preview real quick of the Tomb King army. We got the catapult. We got some Ushabti in the back. We're definitely seeing some Ushabti Greatbows. Now, if he can get those on these Way Watchers and the dragon, the Lord Glade Lord over there, he can get some really good value out of those units. We got some basic scaly spearmen in the front line, and we have some scaly archers. But the main focus, the MVP of the battle, is going to be these chariots. And if he can get them some good value, it might be the deciding factor between victory and defeat.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. These catapults coming in, taking some shots and some misses at some Wild Riders. That's all right. I think the Wood Elf positioning out their army, just like you were mentioning over here. Oh, and we have on the left side engagement with, just like you mentioned, Wild Riders chasing into the skeleton chariots. We have Cetra committing here.
Cetra is taking a lot of damage so far. He's taken over 1,500 damage. And these chariots look to be in a lot of trouble.
That he has, just like you mentioned, they with the Wild Riders engage, and they also have the Glade Lord getting in there, and Deepwood Scouts and Way Watchers supporting fire. Gives the Wood Elves tremendous power in this trade, and that was a great exchange on the side of Grindhouse. Terrific, pushing his advantage like that.
And that Glade Lord is going to have a lot of value from this guy. If he can't get those Ushabti Greatbows to fire at that Lord, it's going to be free reign on anything that Glade Lord shoots at.
Definitely, these chariots getting outranged as well by the archers on the Wood Elf side is just not good for this skirmishing. And this is a lot of the money of the army too, of the Tomb Kings.
And that Regiment of Renown Ushabti Greatbow, if people don't know, it fires an AoE bow into enemy units. It fires, and it's very effective against clusters of units. And this terrain is making it a little bit more valuable too, because it can fire at an arc, which means it can fire over the hill and create a huge problem for any units that's taking fire from it.
Definitely, just like you mentioned, I see it coming in here and cutting through the Way Watchers that are stacked up on the other side of the hill here.
And here comes Chariots and Cetra charging into these archers. And on the other side of the map, we have another skirmish. These Deepwood Scouts and Wild Riders are engaging another squad of Chariot Archers, as well as some Skelly Spearmen. And they are supported by a Skeleton Archer. And it looks like on the left flank, the Tomb Kings will push their advantage.
Yeah, they are pushing it on the opposite side of the map here, just like you mentioned, with the Skeleton Archers, the specifically Blessed Legion of, I'm not going to pronounce that correctly. Specifically, the fact that they have armor sundering missiles makes them incredibly valuable to have on target, and as you saw, they were ripping apart those Deepwood Scouts.
And Cetra and the Skeleton Chariots are going to be pushing and taking their advantage again against these Way Watchers. I feel these Eternal Guards should have been used a little bit to defend their archers.
Yeah, perhaps the Eternal Guard being held for a little long here, perhaps even forgotten about, although he could just be saving them for later as well.
And that Glade Lord is going to make it her primary mission and duty to hunt Cetra from the battlefield.
Yeah, I would say that is a major component of how this game will go, is that the Wood Elves, like I mentioned, need to lock down valuable targets in order to win, and that's exactly what they need to do specifically with Cetra. I can't see here though. I see here we have the male Glade Lord taken, so we won't be having Prey of Anathrema. Oh no, it is not. It is Prey of
We got a
Anathrema.
catapult being taken out by the
That
Wild
is.
Riders, so that catapult will no longer be able to fire at any Wood Elf units. But it looks like the time has gone for any kind of value for that, as the remaining of his army is taking huge advantage of the losses and the collapse of the Wood Elf left flank. And I don't know if the Wood Elves can turn this around. The Glade Lord taking massive amounts of damage from the Ushabtis.
Yep, still the Ushabti Regiment Renowned, the Chosen of the Gods, with enough ammo here to, I think at this point, force back any remnants of the Wood Elf cavalry, or even though they're not as good at getting the Glade Lord, we have the Skeleton Archers taking a few shots as well. It's looking quite Tomb King favorite at this point. And we have here the Eternal Guard that were in the back coming to use. It is entirely possible that he may have forgotten about them until the end there.
And that's very, very unfortunate. If he could have used those Eternal Guard effectively, he could have prevented his archers from being chased down by the chariots. And the Glade Lord will charge at Cetra once again. And I feel that if the Tomb King army can just manage to get Cetra off the battlefield and away from the Glade Lord, he pretty much has this battle in the bag. And vice versa, if the Wood Elves can target Cetra and kill him, that would be a huge, huge blunder on the side of the Tomb King.
Yeah, I would agree. Cetra taking a lot of damage when the Glade Lord engaged and popping, what was that again? The Incantation of Vengeance, right. Seeing not exactly a single target damage spell, but it does some damage.
Realm of Souls Tier 3 has been activated. The Ushabtis are available, and he will summon those units in the middle of the battlefield. I'm surprised he didn't summon it on top of the Eternal Guard, but he is looking to charge those Eternal Guard with those, and it's going to probably cause that unit to rout upon the Ushabtis, inflicting massive casualties on the Eternal Guard.
Yep, we have here Cetra doing some donuts through the Eternal Guard. And the Eagle, maybe. No, the Eagle's going to go after those chariots, crumbling them instantly. And then picking off the Blessed Legion of. Not going to pronounce that again. Grindhouse definitely doing a great job cycle charging his Lord through these delicate Tomb King units, carving his way back into this game, I feel like, at this point. He's doing a great job of cycle charging within the rules of play here as he has units engaged or on the way to being engaged. These Wild Riders getting torn apart by these Skeleton Archers. Skeleton Archers really cheap damage over time for the Tomb King armies. I think they are almost essential supporting fire in a lot of matchups, this one included.
And it looks like the Tomb Kings have not been able to land the decisive blow. And it looks like the Wood Elves might be coming back into this game. What do you think?
Yep. Cetra about to get gooned is what I think by the Glady, missing that attack, but the Spellslinger of Life carving a piece out of Cetra. Who would have known that Cetra the Imperishable could be fallen by a simple Spellslinger of Life?
Yeah, Cetra's taken massive damage, is debilitated, and only has 580 health left. Just 2 missiles from the Glade Lord will put an end to Cetra's reign.
Yep, we have here the Wood Elves coming in for another charge. The Glady not charging Cetra, perhaps trying to bait him into engaging on him. Leaving the Glady engaged with these spears, not the best trade. And the Ushabti coming in will deal some serious damage. Their mass could even lock her down. Ushabti have a ton of mass.
Big behind the back hit on the Glade Lord.
Yep, and Cetra coming in and killing the Glady. I feel it's possible that it would have been best for the Glady to attempt to goon out Cetra instead of engaging those spears.
Why didn't
but
the Glade Lord use the range to max effectiveness? That's very surprising. I feel he could have shot Cetra and wiped Cetra off the map with a good little bolt, and that will cost him the game. The Tomb Kings will take the victory, and 530 Phil will take the series and will advance into the finals. But overall, great game. What do you think the Tomb Kings could have done differently, or correction, what do you think the Wood Elves could have done differently to get victory from this match?
Definitely hard to say. I would say that I think Grindhouse played very well. Definitely a better Wood Elf player than I. I would say that his trades in the beginning of the game were definitely a good start, but I think that perhaps prioritizing picking off units after Cetra took a hit and after the first Ushabti Great Bows were taken out, and then the catapults addressed. Perhaps going after Cetra at any one of those times would have been a little bit more valuable, especially at the end there. Engaging him could have he could have clawed his way back in, I feel.
Well, thank you very much for your knowledge, and we'll definitely look forward into looking at your semifinals match against Wamboozled.
Yep, definitely should be quite a game, and this was quite a series. 2-0 from 530 Phil. We'll find out who will be facing him in the finals in the next
guys,
semifinal
we'll see
game.
you next time.